the police were ordered to do it, and they did it. Is that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he would have fallen in the place of Moses.
The Liberia National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came, he also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they cared. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. A bad person, George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe, having kept watch over us, stay keeping watch over us. Good God, faithful God. Yes, good day it is, people. So, thank you too for coming on. Bendu David, Bon County, Zioga, as the Roll community. It says Lou Blackmon, David Williams, Colorado, USA, Junior Benda, Kiasali Boulevard, Japan Freeway, Augustine Weir, Mangibi County, Warwick, Doe, New Georgia Estate, your residents, Sally K, that's Silly K Kaba, Nathan Page, Calcutta, Mansari Abdullah, JJY Community, Mohammed Sharif, Jacob Town, Ambassador Walter Morgan, CDC Regular Intellectual Meliton, Quillen Banks, Moulton Conan, Broville, Benson Weir, Hilton Jedu, Greenville, Sino County. Yes, we are in Sino County also. Latsanan Rogers, Marta Poyo, Batnottsville, Venetia's Bar. Yes, that's true. Philip Tokba, Rita Christie Head, USA, Massachusetts. My dear sister Orita Sunday Choir, good to have you on. Hope that you are faring well. Stephen Coker, you are on. Your sister was at the program on Sunday, and we chatted briefly. Yeah, Ruth Coker Collins, good to have you on. Stephen Coker. That's Theophilus George, and the chairman himself, Roman Rico, Kenny Boy, Latupan, chairman, Block 13 Intellectual Center. Okay, good people. Thank you all for coming on. We can bring on all of the names because you are coming in your 50s, your 75, your 100s. Thank you so very much for choosing Kings 88.5. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of May. So we've got just two pointers, and then we are out. And sorry, we have to keep you waiting up to 15 minutes into the time because it was very significant. We are still upgrading, so please bear with us, all because of your satisfaction. Too many things are happening behind the scene. When you have new equipment, you have to take time to deal with it. You need the experts along the way to help because everybody's expertise is needed for perfection. So thank you for the understanding. Well, 2 items and then we are out. I've opted not to get involved because it wasn't in news. No, not at all. President Boakai illness had never been in news. All those who are defending or saying whatever they are saying is because they are within the government. They want to be seen as loyal fans or supporters. But if you have been involved with the politics, President Boakai illness and treatment had never been the news recently. It had been that way for a very long time. Even when President Boakai, in his private life, when he was at the YMCA, you go there and you ask the people, he was a bit frail. His illness is not this time. Boakai illness was being discussed or was discussed for years. President Weah inherited Joe Boakai illness, and it became his project to undertake to save his life. So it's not in news. So let's get into it. I said that I try avoiding that because Israel yesterday and today discussed that exhaustively. I try to stay off that because the man's illness is not in news, except people who don't know. You ask the man himself, he'll tell you he's been frail for a very long time. Why wasn't he very effective prior to the campaign? During the campaign, do you know that during the campaign they hired him many times? They hid the news from the media because he fell off a couple of times based on his illness. Come on. So here's the first pointer. We knew that they were going to react. Former President Weah doesn't talk often. He doesn't talk much. But when he talks, he makes impact. That impact is what gets into the soul, flesh, bones, marrow, just uneasy within themselves. Before, President Weah was blunt. He did not go with parable. A blunt person look in your face and say. A blunt person stands in the midst of people and speak his mind. He does not go with parable. Only a scared person goes using parable. When President Weah is speaking, he speaks directly. He goes specific. He don't go around beating around the bush, as you say in Liberian term, speaking parable, going through parable, making it difficult for people to understand. So he was very blunt on Sunday. Mentioned the name Joseph Boakai. And there's nothing wrong in that. You said that this man is this man is that. Immediately after the election, Unity Party people hung on President Weah. They say a lot of awful things against him. And they are still saying they had even wished his death. Unity Party people wanted to hear the death news of George Weah. Didn't one of their supporters say that he will wish that President Weah die in a plane crash, that the plane crashed? Didn't that Unity Party supporter say if he had that magical power, that mystical power, he would turn to snake and burn President Weah so that he would die? Meaning, they did not want Weah to exist on earth. They went about, again, using their AI expertise to say the man is sick, the man is that, the man is there. Was it right? No. It wasn't right to say that of a statesman, a former president, a man who has brought so much, contributed so much, the man upon whom the peace, stability, and security of this country rest. They weren't looking at it that way. And President Weah would not respond all those months and years, to the extent that former President Weah, some of his supporters, will come out and say he's weak. Because their understanding of strength, when you can go about just talking and reacting to everything and everybody, even some of his people, they say he was weak. Or he is weak because he's not talking. But it is not the person, it is not who talks every day, all of the time, every minute. It is not who that is in the press for the wrong reason, but who talks to make an impact so that people will know how to move about with their lives. Has people not said to people what they have done for people? This country is noted for that. We know the story, we've heard a lot. Come on. Why a certain group of people would think that they are more perfect, they have done no wrong, they have never ever treaded any unethical, uncultured path. Today they are presenting themselves as holy people, saying all manner of things against President Weah because he mentioned Joe Boakai. Joe Boakai is not above reproach. Know that. If you are a supporter of Unity Party, drop your partisan sentiments and put on reasoning. Everyone that comes to the public limelight, that person is under the political scrutiny. That person will be criticized as the person can criticize. Joe Boakai is not extra. If Joe Boakai didn't want to be criticized, he should not have ventured for the presidency. Then he said in his private life, and nobody would talk. Even as that, the public would still have something to say about him. When you come to the public space, be ready for the arrows, the criticisms, the condemnations, the scrutiny. Only a soft skin get scared and say all manner of things. People have said things about people. People have done things for people in this country. Before Weah even became president, before President Boakai became president, before Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became president, before the leaders of this country became what they became and what they are now, people have been saying those things. In a community, yeah, the person, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. I take my money. I gave you food. I'm blaming you. I took your son to hospital. Had it not been for me. Didn't people say that? People think that normal thing has been for ages in this country since Liberia was founded. It became the normal saying. Even as I am speaking now, some people saying that. And you find that mainly amongst the women. They say that all over. You find that amongst men. So what's the news in that thing? That's why I didn't want to get involved. But the reason I'm involved today with every ounce of my being is because we knew that they were going to react. It went down into the so what the president said yesterday. They took the Ministry of Information press briefing to focus on the most important man in the country, the most loved, most severe man in the country, George Manneh Weah, as their subject. Bouakai had been sick from time to time. There's no news in there. Bouakai illness is not a news. Even some of the people that are working with Bouakai today, please, I beg you, let us not push. You don't push us to start calling you so you can lose your job. Because we know some of you, we've been around here. Some of you people that said Bouakai was going to die, he couldn't make it. Because you saw that Bouakai was free, Bouakai was sick. Your stop. Your hold on. One day, I will sit here and call your name and you will not look in our faces and say that lie. Because you said it, we know. Come on, Chief. How you arguing like Bouakai was not sick before? Anybody can get sick. That normal thing. Everybody. We're on and off. These few days, it wasn't easy when we're relocating. But we're battling it. It's normal. Even the great Elisha got sick. The great man of God. He got sick in a human self. And that illness carried him. What's that to brag or pretend? Bouakai has been ill. Everybody who is ill at certain point in time, when you don't have the support, another person comes in. Nobody wishes to tell the world. It is not the conscience of anybody to say what he or she has done for a person. That is forbidden by God. But what is not forbidden by God that brings out the person's right to express is the ingratitude. Because God in heaven himself hates ingratitude. Didn't God say you people were 10? Where are the other 9? To come and say thank you to President Weah? No. President Weah showed him good conduct. What did he do in return? You know, and I know. Was it wrong for President Weah to have said what he said? No. Must he say it again? I will say to him, everywhere he goes, 5 million times he can say, and he's not wrong. Just as Jesus said, he who has not sinned, let him be the first to throw the stone. Who in this country has not said to a person, I did this for you? Even if you did not say it loud, but you said it within yourself, you've already said it. Because where corruption starts, from the mind. Once you reason it, you said within yourself, I did this for that person. Even though you're not telling people, it's the same as saying it loud. Because the conscience. So what wrong there? Now they went at the Ministry of Information, they exposed themselves, tiny as they are mentally, they expose themselves. As usual, Jerry Limekpia will leave it to Daniel Sano because he sees Daniel Sano as the surrogate. He's saving his character, his reputation for the future because he knows that anything can happen at any time. So he will push it to Daniel Sano, who thinks that he can measure arm with President Weah, and then he goes on to say a number of things. And in there, he exposes himself and the government. They had the press conference today. What we have always said, that Joe Bouakai has grudge for President Weah as his people, and that everything that is happening to the supporters of President Weah in terms of what they refer to as the law is not the law, but a political grudge. I want you to listen to Daniel Sando. What he said, he exposed the government that they have this grudge, this plan in place against President Weah, and that all of the officials that they are investigating, quote unquote, corruption is not necessarily that. It is purely political vindictiveness. He exposed them today. He exposed the government. Daniel Sando. Small beginning. Turning, UPIS. Turning, UPIS. So, yeah, what the man said. He said in his address today that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is more of a statesperson, a former president, a patriot, a nationalist who is helping this government, unlike former President Weah, who isn't distanced himself. Let me quote him word for word. He said, "You see, Madam Sirleaf has been supportive of this government. She attends every function hosted by it and supported Liberia's security bid. This kind of former leader the country needs. This kind of former leader the country needs." And then he went to President Weah. He said, "Not the one who carries himself like a Facebook content creator, where everything he says becomes a joke." Let me put this first part in context. President Weah has never, ever received any invitation from this Unity Party government with the approval of President Parable-in-Chief Joseph Yeman Boakai and refuse. No. Everyone in the Unity Party government knows that. In fact, the government came to power with the grudge against former President Weah. So how can President Weah be a part? The government is against President Weah. All of Joseph Boakai officials are against President Weah. So who there will say, let's write this person? The Minister of Information, the Deputy Minister, instead of being empty, I expected him probably to have said, within his limitation, and we have seen it as a little bit of reasoning, we extended invitation to former President Weah on several occasions, and he did not. Because he knows that they have never, ever extended anything of such to President Weah. So he said, unlike the other one who prides himself as content creator on Facebook, the government, everybody knows down to the international community that the government is divisive. The government is discriminatory. They have never one day asked President Weah when you have, or even asked all of his people, those around him, went last since the government came to power, they ever sat down and sent an invitation to him. Is President Weah not willing to work for his country? He is. Is he not doing? He is doing. President Weah is doing a lot for this country that he doesn't have to come brag about it. Even President Boakai knows. What President Weah encounters outside, if he was a bad person, a number of things wouldn't come to this country. We are telling you, if President Weah was a bad person, if he didn't like this country, if he was against Joseph Boakai and against this government, a number of things will not come to this country. Everybody on earth has their ability. Everybody, they are unique in their own ways. And people are attracted to them. People believe in them. People consult them. People seek their advice before they can do anything. And one of such person is President Weah. President Weah has the ability to open doors. I'm not saying door. I said doors. Doors for this country and this government. The very government does not know how to go about with anything because of their vindictive nature. They are suffering. And then you have this man say, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President Sirleaf, is saying at events, and President Weah is on Facebook like a content creator. We agree. We agree that he's on Facebook as a content creator. Thank God that he can bring relief, hope, joy, laughter to people to take away their stress and pains and hurts and suffering created by this government. Part of human existence is you have to be therapeutic. Meaning, you have to give people hope, people joy. So if Weah is a content creator and everything he says becomes a joke, fine. It means people get relief from it. Why you think they have those people on the stage to do XYZ? It's not necessarily only for the money, but people go there to get themselves relief of pains, of hurts, of suffering, that they stress. So we agree. No problem. We agree that he is a content creator, that everything he says becomes a joke. President Weah has never received a single. If Joseph Boakai, who is the president, is against President Weah, and then you expect President Weah will receive anything to go into their midst, the man whom they say messed the country up. How can the people say Weah messed the country up, then you expect them to get Weah into their midst? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So the deputy minister, Daniel Sano, lied, and I can understand because he has nothing to say. It is not a news. Thank God that we have Facebook content creator. They who don't have Facebook content creator, they are creating more content than the man whom they say he is a Facebook creator. They're creating the content. They are on Facebook where they are. Where they're sitting in Boakai office in the executive mansion. They're sitting in those people offices. They are on Facebook. The Facebook he said, President, we are on. Where they're writing. Before he went to speak at the Ministry of Information, where did he go to put the information out? On Facebook. When you write on Facebook, if you have created a content. Content means an idea. Why did the people say we are waiting to hear what you would say at the Ministry of Information? Because he went on Facebook. He did not go to FBS to give a live news conference or discussion before going. He did not go to any one of the radio stations. He went on his Facebook page. So he's on Facebook too. You see the irony? You said the man on Facebook creating content. He is a content creator. But you on Facebook too, creating the same content. So you are a content creator. You sense the irony? President Weah has never. Let them say. Let the boss come or Joseph Boakai to say on this day we extended invitation to President Weah for this gathering. They excluded the former president because of hate, grudge, malice, evil intent. The last religious gathering they had, what did Yomli Kanga Lawrence say? The pro tem, she exposed them. Her conscience wasn't clear. She said the next prayer breakfast we're having, and we have to invite the former president, George Weah, to be here. Let all the current president and former presidents of our country be together. Again, she told that was an admission or a reaffirmation of the vindictive nature of Unity Party she exposed. Today, the government is divided. President Weah does not need Unity Party gathering. Certainly not. They chose to have Ellen Johnson Sirleaf with them all of the time. And look at it. Because they are not open to criticism, the Sirleaf that they say she is patriotic and nationalistic, she gave a patriotic and nationalistic criticism, the Unity Party people started cursing her. Come to think of it, you wonder whether Unity Party people normal. You say the woman is patriotic, is nationalistic, she will your in gatherings. President Weah doesn't do it. Granted, we accept. In her patriotic self now, she gave a patriotic criticism. You turned against her and started cursing her. And I don't see former President Sirleaf in Unity Party gathering again, given what you people have done. What you people did to her. I don't see her in your gathering again. Every day, all of these people who call themselves defenders of Boakai, one day Joseph Boakai will say that and say, if I had known. Then what did he say again? Let's go to the next part. He said the only thing working, listen carefully, the only thing working in the former president's favor is that he is protected under the law. Listen carefully. The only thing working in the former president's favor is that he is protected under the law. Otherwise, he will be facing indictment and prosecution. Otherwise, he will be facing indictment and prosecution. What he simply meant was, we've already had plan in place to get at this George Weah man. We planned it from the beginning before Boakai even came to the presidency. That when we get there, this man is our tiger. This man is our enemy. We'll do everything we can to get at him. When we started telling you initially that Unity Party, all that thing you saw them doing, Boakai saying this, Boakai saying that, that he was targeting. He discussed it with his people. And you people were looking at it. With time, you start seeing things. And they're still focusing on former President Weah. They feel that they're rendering favor to President Weah. Unity Party, they feel that they are rendering President Weah favor. When you're rendering someone's favor, half of the person's rights are seized. That means the person cannot criticize you. The person cannot go the extra mile. The person should live at your will and pleasure. So in essence, when President Weah is not is not criticizing them, not being specific, not saying anything at all, then they will leave him. That's what Daniel Sano is saying. The only thing that protecting the former president, the only thing that's working in his favor, rather, quoting him word for word, is he is protected under the law. Otherwise, he will be facing indictment and prosecution. So what are you waiting for? You see another irony from him again. If you know that this man, the law does not exempt, there are laws, you come to it. We have lawyers in this country, seasoned ones, and a lot more. So if you think that this man, you have a case against him, don't pretend. Come out. Come up with your indictment. Get ready for your prosecution. If you think that you have a claim against him as former president, but he has only exposed what they have always had in their occultic room. Then he said, however, his accomplices, including Samuel Twe, will face the full weight of the law. However, his accomplices, meaning people around George Weah, and then he was specific, Samuel Twe, will face the full weight of the law. What he simply meant, everything that is happening with that economic trial or sabotage trial or how they call it, is more political. It's not necessarily legal. Legality, Twe should be a free man. But because they have this man in their heart as their enemy, and Samuel 12 worked in this man's government. So Samuel 12, with the rest of the people, we will show to them that they would suffer it. So it's about extending the grudge, transfer aggression, or transfer anger. Then he said, he imputed, he tried to be biblical. He tried to be biblical, or he went biblical. He quoted or put in, he said he should read Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 to 4, and stop boasting about doing good deeds. At least he acknowledged. Not all. The man acknowledged that truly, President, we are debt pay the bill for the medical bill of ailing, sick, then in opposition, Joseph Yeman Boakai. Daniel Sano, they got to be careful. They're making things hard for Boakai every day. Yesterday, they were saying the guys at the Ministry of Information, they were just there insulting people, saying all manner of things. They weren't propagating the message of the government, the development style of the government. They were criticizing their colleagues at the Ministry of Information. They are there today, they're doing the same thing. Daniel Sano confirmed, you Unity Party people, limited as you people are, I appeal to you people to stop. If you mind these people, you will look like clowns and fools in the eyes of other people. Daniel Sano did confirm that, President, we have paid Joseph Yeman Boakai hospital bill. So, why you criticizing President Weah when he said, I paid the bill? Isn't it true? Or they're not disputing that President Weah did, but they are saying that he should not have said it. There is nothing wrong with saying, with saying what you have done for somebody. It means you have done it. And you did it in good faith. Not expressing it publicly and feeling feeling not satisfied of doing it within your heart. That's the same thing. People have done things for people, then they turn their back, they're talking about it within themselves. They go in their room, even though I did it, but it means they're satisfied. It's the same as saying it. So what's the difference there? The man was just being honest, talking about some of his success stories. And it is the normal motivational talk. When people talk about their lives, they talk about what they do in their life. Those things are intended to inspire people. What the man did on Sunday was simply, when you have a responsibility, or when a responsibility is given unto you, maximize whatever. Make it your own and change it and extend so that it will affect the lives of others. Put creativity into it. Put hard work. Moreover, isn't it hurtful when you do something for a person and then they show ingratitude? It hurts God. God who created all your go in the Bible is there. It hurt God when you show ingratitude. One of the sins that you should not commit is the sin of ingratitude. He said, why were you 10? Didn't I feed 10 of you? Didn't I heal 10 of you of your illness? Why were you dying? Why were you 1 minute from death? And I did heal you miraculously. And I expected you people to come back and show gratitude. God first, President, we are second. From a human perspective, Boaka should have gone back to say thank you. But instead, he showed ingratitude. And when you show ingratitude, the person has the right to express by exposing the ingratitude so that others don't do it. Simple. What they get on Facebook, a few days, they say moral lesson. When they finish, then they close the article with moral lesson. So that was a moral lesson the president did give. Why President Boaka goes to place, he deliver motivational lecture. Internet for what? To get people reshaping their thought, reshaping their lives. So what's wrong there? They went to the Ministry of Information saying all manner of things. Come on. So here is it. Let's go to that line, then we move on, and that will be doing it. That he confirmed the illness of the person. The battle, the road to 2029 has started. The heat is getting heated. The man himself has reacted. Hold on, President Weah has reacted. But let me conclude this with Daniel Sano. Let's go to that line. And they said, you some of you seditians, those of you who were saying, President, we are not talking, President, we are not this, President. So what I was saying now, I told you people, it's not everybody who goes, that you are a leader. What did God say in James 1:19? He said, be slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to anger. Meaning that when you speak, that which you put out, it will be like wildfire everywhere. And that's what is happening to Unity Party people. They are uncomfortable everywhere, in the offices, at the business center, wherever they're just uncomfortable, because the man's remark made a huge impact on them. Let's go to that part. He said, he confirmed that he paid the bill. He said, it seems the biggest achievement of Mr. Weah as president is the hospital bill. The hospital bill he paid, PAID, the pass for PAY. He paid for the president, Joseph Boakai. So what they get? Nothing. The man confirmed it. He confirmed what President Weah had said. And President Weah did. Costa, their own man, dependable nephew, all over the place. He said, President Weah sent the money to get to him. He ate it. Kalasco came out to tell us that President Weah sent money of his illness and to get him going as a human being. And then we heard from all over. So what President Weah said yesterday or Sunday was not news. It was nothing new. It was just the usual. President Weah did sustain President Boaka in this country. Come on, whether you like it or not. God first, President Weah second. Had it not been for President Weah, President Boaka will not be president today. Then probably the boom be in the grave. Because majority of these people are around him. They abandoned him. The man was sick. They abandoned the man. The ones that are saying today they're defending Boaka, they're blasting Weah and blasting other people. They were around here. They felt that their dime, their $5, their $10, their $50 US, whatever their man was too important to be given to Joseph Yuma Boaka to keep him alive. Some of them felt that he was finished already. So what's wrong there? The very Joseph Yuma Boaka, dependable nephew, said he took him to hospital You're turning to dependable nephew, or you're waiting for dependable nephew to say, Stanton Waterspoon said they were supporting Bouaka. They took Bouaka to America. They were feeding him. They were paying his bill in America. Dependable nephew said they took him to hospital 2 times, and he was in the room, and he paid the bills. So you ain't see that one, that job we are your country. Oh, you're waiting for dependable nephew to say, you're waiting for standard to say before you react. You're better lead a thing. Getting a political message. You think you're demeaning you're increasing fame every day. Instead of focusing on what you have to do for the country, you people have no time. 2029 is just around the corner. You keep focusing on The dullest thing that you ever want to do in life is to drift away from your responsibility and focus on things that are not important, yet you make it important. You being sick, the man being sick, everyone knows. Who in this government don't know that Bouaka being sick? You're just confirming that you people have not been supportive of the man. You show that ingratitude. Nobody went around to help him. All these people that are around him, they never went around. They lived in America. They were enjoying themselves. Most of them felt that Bouaka would not have made it. They felt that Bouaka was never going. Some of them felt that Bouaka was going to die. They abandoned the man. We know for a fact we've been here. You ask Mo Ali. You know how many times Mo Ali was around hustling here and there? Come on, I say you don't allow to be talking. I like to go that route. You're leading. That's why I said I don't want to get involved because I know plenty things. And Israel discussed it for 2 days exhaustively. That is not an issue. But I said today, I'll get involved. Since they said they're going to information ministry and the man said it's crap. The former president reacted. The man doesn't say long. He doesn't write long, but he's impactful. Hear what he said. You say, I can't speak well, and I am very dull. That's what they said yesterday. All of the men can read all those things they put on Facebook. But you responded to everything. But you respond to everything that I say, which you claim not to understand. So you and I, who is really dull and foolish? This is President Weah's position, his reaction. When he said that, they flooded Facebook. Oh, the man dull. The man can speak English. The man are there. The man there. You also have Facebook was flooded with the reactions. So the man decided to react to them. Going forward, I don't think President Weah going to allow anything to slide again. No, I don't think President Weah is going to allow anything to slide. They are about to see George Weah coming out, and they are seeing the signs. If I were them, they just allow sleeping dog to lie. Because you know why? They can't sustain this. They can't sustain this fight. Seditions are more stronger, ready, forceful, aggressive than Unity Party people. Listen again to what he said. You said, I can't speak well, and I am very dull. But you respond to everything that I say, which you claim not to understand. So you and I, who is really dull and foolish? He's right. Complete irony. You say the person is dull. The person is very dull. But you took up time. You not dull. You can reason. Your mental faculty intact. Then you turn to something that you consider dull. Ego. Amen. My people, you help me to reason out this thing here. The clever person should not be giving attention to a dull thing. By logical reasoning, a clever person giving attention to a dull thing, that clever person is dull. Because in logical reasoning, only one thing that is required, avoidance. But you got involved. You say it is not worthy. But you got involved with the unworthy thing. Yet you claim to be mentally clean. That's an irony. Everything the man said, everything he said, they go about responding. That's true. Boakas go around, Boakas saying things, nobody got time for Boakas. I think the only thing that gave Boakas little attention was that his parable he made came out insulting people. Now, between President Weah and President Boakai, President Weah is far more important in terms of being blunt. An unruly person, a person who is insulted by nature, uses parable and other figurative expressions to insult. Yet, it takes a few people with an analytical mind to reason and figure out the person's intent. And only a few people came out to say that expression Boakai made. It was not necessarily anything but insult. Referred to his people, his fellow human beings, as dogs. President Weah comes and goes straight to the point with name calling. Between the two, if God in heaven will send Angel Gabriel down, between the two people, Angel Gabriel will prefer George Weah. Because you know why? The very government called for being blunt. Say it openly. Be specific. Be specific. Just like Jesus' disciple asked him, they say, why are you always leaving us in doubt? Why are you not specific? Why are you always speaking in parable? They were simply asking him or telling him, my man, we with you, but there is no specification. There's no bluntness. You have to. You speak in parables here and there, and we can't understand the parable. Sometimes we feel uncomfortable with the parables that you are speaking because we think that you are referring to us. That's how Jesus Christ's disciple felt along the way with him. President Weah does not go about using parable all over the place. Boakai uses parable, and the person who uses parable often in terms of the context they use it goes about insulting people. The person who is blunt, everybody knows. Everybody understands the person. So everybody understood President Weah on Sunday. He never went about speaking parable here and there, leaving his listener in suspense. He was blunt. Listen, until we can drop this petty thing, it will not help. But seditions are ready. And they have started responding. They have started responding. This thing, if Boakai ain't call him man, they're going to go into another stuff. The same Joseph Boakai man, was it last year? He came out and said, we need to reduce the discourse of our conversation. Meaning the trend at which the conversation was going, people were getting better with people were going personal with people, a lot more. That's what he meant. Now it is starting again, and it doesn't start from anybody but his own people. Instead of telling his people, you leave that, he allows them to. When it degenerates into something else, then he goes quietly and say, you need to do something. And this country, we are. Bouakai has never, ever attempted anything of a peaceful existence. No, he hasn't. The most vindictive person that ever walked the face of the earth is Joseph Nyeama Bouakai. Very vindictive. Even Satan is good than Bouakai. Satan is good than Bouakai. So you should know the kind of person he is. What kind of man throughout his life? He doesn't laugh. He doesn't smile. Even Satan smiles. Satan laughs. If I have seen him, I have not seen Satan. I don't want to see him. But the Bible gives us a clue. When you read those lines about him, you can tell that Satan smiles. Satan laughs. President Bouakai doesn't laugh, doesn't smile. A person who doesn't laugh, doesn't smile. You have to be very careful. Even though not all smiles and laughter good, but the man doesn't. He doesn't smile. So before we get to the line, Daniel Sano say he confirmed truly that President we appealed the bill, that they have grudge. The trial of Samuel Tuer and others, it is purely political. That they're not going to get out of it as long as President Bouakai is the president. That the only thing that President Weah has in his favor is the law. That they have kept grudge. They have always wanted to get at President Weah, and they will do everything to get at President Weah. Again, we're telling you people, seditions, you brace yourself. We're telling you people 2024, 2025. Because we saw the indicators, we saw the signs. People from Bouakai office were revealed before they can even. We got information from everywhere. Listen, there is vulnerability of the government. The same way they had people within George Weah's office giving out information, the same way people in Bouakai office giving out information. When you have to brag anything, come on. Who told you? That thing the CSA boss came over is just a flimsy stuff. The information we can get on a daily basis from the executive mansion, from the Capitol building, from every area. Who gave me a human being? I'll be doing it for that. So, here's the next pointer. And then we are out for today. You don't ever fake in life. The last thing you ever want to do in life is to fake. Don't ever fake anything. Be real, be honest, say what it is. Don't fake anything. The police director traveled with the president to the United States to go receive their award. Traveled to the United States with the president to receive his award. Yesterday, in CDC government, award was not important. Every award was criticized and condemned. Today, everybody should accept the award given to Unity Party people. President Bouakai does not need an award. No, he does not need an award. He's vindictive. He's evil. He's Satan incarnate. He does not need an award. How can you give an award to a dictator? Look at the country. The men stifle free speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of expression, and a lot more. People, international bodies gave those awards on good governance, human rights, free speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and on and on. Those indicators they look at. Presidents around the world receive peace awards for peace, and they will explain why. Just like when you're watching the Ballon d'Or ceremony, they will tell you this team won their domestic league, they won the Champions League, they won this league, they won that. They'll tell you all of the reasons for awarding that award. President Bouaga award, few United Party people put together to give to him. The police director went with him. How did the information get out? The information did not come from the people who said that Liberia is ranked 10th best police force in Africa. No. If they ever exist. The same United Party, someone from in the police or the police boss himself must have hinted as a PR stunt. So they will say the police under the United Party government is this, is that. And so you see, Liberia now has gone. The same funny thing they've been doing around here. They will just go and say, oh, they were there. You see, the foreign minister, Sarah Besloyanti, she tired running around now. She tired running around because they fake along the way. And so nothing there again. You all see her moving from place to place. She tired, she not sit down. Everything is just rhetorical. They must have hinted one of their media persons, and then that media person put it on. Because they know the vulnerability of the media in terms of validation. Because most of the online media institutions, they want recognition. They want it to be seen on the page. They want it to be seen as this institution has it, this institution carried the first, and a lot more. No one will attempt to do a validation or to check behind. If Liberia is ranked 10th best in Africa, common sense, elementary one, will tell me why the institution that ranked Liberia police force 10th best in Africa is not mentioned. Who disclosed this information? Is it the police director? The police director did travel with the president. Did he give a news conference on that? Or did he speak to reporters at the airport? Is there a link by which we can do a follow-up to know, besides Liberia being ranked 10th, the other countries that are in their various categories? When you begin to think this way, and the information is empty, you soon realize that it is not true. They attempted a PR publicity stunt or a PR that they did not know how to carry out. They thought it was going to be the usual. And look what? How embarrassing, shameful, disgraceful. To the extent that they were forced to issue a statement clarifying that no, the statement is not true, and the Liberia National Police, XYZ. Let me read their statement to you. They said, the Liberia National Police, LNP, wishes to formally inform the public, our partners, in the international community that we have deleted, Delete means to remove. Before removal means it was there. Deleted our recent press statement claiming to be among the 10 best police institutions in Africa. We acknowledge that the statement was premature, inaccurate, and not based on any credible or official ranking. Its publication has caused confusion and raised concerns about our professionalism and credibility. The LNP sincerely apologizes to the public, our partners, and all those who were misled and disappointed by this communication. We take full responsibility for this error. Moving forward, we remain committed to transparency, accountability, and excellence in our service to the people of Liberia. You people got the statement? Do you know that the LNP said nothing of any clarity? The LNP said nothing. This is not a clarity. They should have put in their statement who put the statement out. But they protected the person because they know who gave the information out. The statement should have said the statement came out as a result of XYZ. This is the individual that put it about. When you talk about professionalism, then you want to institute discipline so that it doesn't run into the future. So who put the statement out? You said the statement was deleted. So it was placed on the LNP website and other related arms of the LNP. So who put it there? Who deleted it? At what point did they realize that the information was inaccurate and it was necessary to be deleted? They were testing the water again. Disgraceful, shameful. Come on, Unity Party rescue that claim to know all the bogus. Said George Weah adore. George Weah never writes and delete. George Weah never writes and come and apologize. The last thing you ever want to do is to put things out and come and apologize. You cannot stoop so low. You cannot be that mechanical. That's why before you put anything out, you must check. The same people, they will be telling us. They say, oh, generally then, they can't do validation. Generally then, they can't do counter check. Generally then, they're just putting out. They get on the radio, they just talk. They just write in the newspaper. They can't counter check. They just say things about people they're putting out. So yeah, now. Every day we see your errors. That's why you need not put mouth on any media institution, individual journalists. Our laws say, before you put anything out, you must be certain. And it applies. It is a general rule. It applies to all disciplines, all profession. How can LNP claim to be a professional institution? They put in their statement professionalism, and they did not do any validation. Put a statement out that is far from reality. You know what they done to the country? They've been dull too. They said, George, we are dull. But that's the dullest thing there. You said the man dull. You see, yeah? You and the man. So that's why the man say everything. But I see your man, I go to the law. Hey, man. That's dull, being dull. He said, George, we are dull. The man said, yeah, I agree. So the clever people on earth in rescue. Put a statement out claiming that Liberia, not even claiming, but letting the people to know, made the country to know that they are 10th best police force in Africa. No source, no organization, nothing, nobody knows. They put it out. Then they deleted it. Then they say, sorry, it was inaccurate, unprofessionalism. Then why you call George Weah dull? You and George Weah now, who dull? You think about it, you're Unity Party people. Too petty, man, too tiny. All right. Let's read a few comments and then we get to the line and then we are out for today. Philip Tokpat said, if the police serious, they should have found someone accountable for the press release. Yes, but they are protecting that person. They know who tell you the boy, who get the information. Nobody went. In this case, in this situation, you hold the police director because he went with the president. So he came back. Probably he must have spoken with one or two media institutions, pro-government, or he must have hinted, and that person just put it on because it started with one media institution. It started with one media institution. Later on, we saw two online. And then, in 30 minutes' time, almost all the media online platforms had it. Newspapers too, they took it. It was in most of the newspapers. They are, not was. The story, it's in most of the newspapers. And if you read a story in a newspaper, they ain't saying anything. Just say Liberia has been ranked for President Baka is doing there, the government is this, the government, they ain't giving the source. They I see you, man. Matthew Choloplay writes it was Daniel Sano gave that fake information to the LNP. For the Cameroon, those guys are very corrupt and dull. David Yimpa, the wise have eyes in their minds, and the fools fool the fool. Tano Samson, they gave Joe Boakai the award because Boakai paid them for it. Emmanuel Bro, simply put, JMB paid for a award is undeserved. What meaningful thing has he done for the overwhelming majority of the Liberian people to have received anything called Peace Award? Gabriel words, wickedness is following through Boakai veins. Honorable Prosper, CDC will show them cayenne pepper 2029. And on the president's reaction, Emmanuel Bro writes, ex-president George Weah is surely ready and prepared to give those Unity Party people fire for fire, certainly. Otis Saki, where JMB, the bargain dog, by, oh, no, that can't be it. Don't mind the people, man. You say you back up for somebody, you can't say. And you know that one of the things they have not refuted or they've not disagreed with President Weah, one of the things they have not disagreed with President Weah on is this.
I wasn't even a politician. The first boss that LU, the University of Liberia Youth, Arbor, since 1847, the first boss that LU received, I was playing for Monaco. I offer them a bus. I came to the president, we offer them buses. Now, how you treat the bus that it didn't last long, then it's an issue. So if LU or the university doesn't have a bus, what are the principals? What are the leaders of the university? They're going to blame some or somebody that was at the head of the government. But it was provided already. We gave you the buses. I gave you a shirt, and in 2 days, you throw it away, and you ask him why. So we have to be responsible here, because all these things is important, and that's why we attack each other for nothing.
They have not disagreed with the president on that. They have not come to disagree. The university authorities have not said, oh, we are you lie. They're not true. We have buses prior to coming. Have you seen any one of them on social media with that? No. Because they know that's true. They know that's true. You think we are just talking because you feel like talking? Let's have this break. You're listening and watching Real Talk Kings 88.5, transmitting from Baptist Seminary ABC Community, Tuesday, May 5th. This break, and then we take your calls.
Yo, yo, yo. Kings FM 88.5. The people them station. If you want truth, if you want clarity, tune in now. Real Talk with Sandro. Real Talk, 88.5. Oh. Kings FM bringing truth live on radio. Sam Andrew on the mic, make it loud and clear. From the 15 counties to the leader. Hi, everybody, yeah. From Sinker Road to Red Light Side 2. People them ready, no more to hide. We talking politics, the nation matter. From market ground to big man parlor. Economy tight, the people them feel it. But with Real Talk, we go reveal it. No sugar coating, no turning back. The truth we bring in straight, no slack. Call the line, say your mind. This now your time, no fear, no blind. Voices rising across the counties, together strong, united we stand. Real Talk, 88.5. Oh. Kings FM bringing truth live on radio. Sam Andrew on the mic, make it loud and clear. From the 15 counties to the leader. Hi, everybody, yeah. Corruption hiding, but light go shine. Accountability now, not the time. From Capitol Hill to community zone, the people them voice no go stay alone. Youth them rising, future bright. Speaking the truth, demanding their right. Education help we calling for change. Real Talk making system rearrange. Who get the station? Kings FM. Who get the voice? The people them. Who bring the truth? Sam Andrew. Say Real Talk. Hey, hey. Yeah, the sound from 88.5. We not playing, we keeping it live. From morning show to evening vibe. Real Talk steady, keeping hope alive. Don't touch that dial, stay right here. Kings FM making vision clear. Real Talk with Sam Andrew every time. Speaking for the people, one voice, one mind, guys.
So let's go to the line now. They are struggling. They are struggling. Real struggle. They are struggling. Yes. They're finding it difficult to say they want to print 76 billion. They call a 10-day meeting or recall only to have Yeke expelled. They could not conclude any arrangement on printing 76 billion. The guys are interesting. So they think that by bringing out these things, when we are saying Sunday, then they hang on it. But the main issue, we have them. No distraction here. You will explain that 78 billion, 78 or 76 you want to print. You ain't going to do anything funny, nothing fishy with it. So you hold on. If you want to use that money for election, It's not going to happen. We'll get to the bottom of that money printing. So let's go now. Let's take a few calls, and then we are out for today. Was just few calls, and then that will be doing it. Hello?
Hello, Sanju.
Yes. Hello, Chief.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sanju. This is Kevin applying to Virginia. CDC by DNA. And I phone in from Upper Colorado, Louisiana. You know, some brother I listen to the comical and the comedians today, they call the press conference. So sad for the man Daniel Sano to behave like Angel Marco or Future Do, thinking that he's trying to insult the president of the country, the future president of the country, and thinking that his government message is propagating. It's so sad for us. How do you, that's the time we found ourselves in, that's the country we found ourselves in. Somebody who calls it a door, and somebody who get instances as to their success story, the person is thinking that they have success story. Who's saying the right thing? And who is making sense? But that's the country. Thank you very much.
Let's go at this end. Hello?
Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, fine.
In this case, Evan.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I call from District 6. Are you getting me?
You are on the air, sir.
My name is Lawson Augustine Sagacious Wisdom. So let me say thank you for the discussion this evening. Let me just say this to the Cabinet Minister for Information, Daniel Sano, where his people say that, former President Weah is a pastor, and I want to make that corrected because some of them who claim to be as an intellectual, some of them they are intellectual buffoons. They're Daniel Sano because former President Weah is motivational speaker. That is number one. But people like Daniel Sano, when they come out to make sense of reckless statements, we don't blame them because when Daniel Sano was working in the office of the current minister of Young Kanga Lawrence, at that time, looking at one or because someone away that President Bwaka, with me, they say, yeah, we can use someone information minister of your deputy now, as a rich one, it will be a more wild and someone an old talk. No, we don't have time for other people. And it continues to talk. We will tell them that President Weah will become a political leader comes to it now. He is most supportive, intellectual more than thank you.
Hello?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrew, I'm Spencer Mohammed in a Cup Town Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community, and a member of the Conseil Liberian for Justice. Mr. Andrew, thank you. But it is something to see a buffoon, to see a square pear in a round hole who has now become the biggest community, biggest environment for the gangster paradise to want to come and talk and speak back as President Weah. There's happening. What do you expect of this gangster paradise? Those guys are sent there with lies and deception. These guys are completely innocent when it comes to governance institution. That guy doesn't know the importance of that position that he occupies in our place. So what he does in our place, he only go there to create content so that he can satisfy his slave master Joe Newman Bwaka. But see how the man was even standing today. This man who was a bad boy to Young Kanga Lawrence, who was watching Young Kanga Lawrence car around here. Who is he? What character, what moral does he have? But one thing that I know, he did not question or did not argue the essence of President Weah taking the slave master to the hospital. This is one of the biggest embarrassments. This man stepped as vice president for 12 years. He sat down in his own house. He could not afford to take his own medical bill. Is this not one of the embarrassment situations in our life? You step as vice president for your own hospital bill? the kind of political buffon marketing and limitation. But let's go to the police. This is the biggest disgrace for our Republic of Liberia. That's how everything under Joe Newman Boakai, his ascendancy to the presidency, everything is crumbling on a daily basis. The same way they may destroy CPD is destroying our political institution. Okay, integrity institution like the police.
All right.
It's now turning into a caricature line on international thing like this.
All right, Chief.
Where is the moral?
Thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Let's hear you, your name. Yes, sir.
I mean, you forget about the money printing business. I mean, I can remember when the government took over, that they found someone on the 20 million in Ghana, they said our TNT. I think 20 million, 30 million, they saw it there, they said our son on our TNT. I'm not Ghana, we're going to change our TNT. They all our government, where our money here. Before they bring it up, because they say, they see it was through George, we had an election time.
All right, Chief. Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Fatma Kar, and I am the Bishop Independent at the pushing for the return of President. We are a proud member of Concerned Liberian for Justice. You know, the police, like you said, that was a PR, and like we were saying on some of the other show that thank God for modern technology, and you guys, the journalists of the day that go and really dig up the information. Because the only group of people that these guys in government can play with will be the United Party people. Because immediately that information popped up yesterday, they started doing comparison. It didn't happen Joe Wiata, now it is happening here. But some always we did our investigation, we come to the realization that that was false and misleading. It was not the truth. Because I could have been disappointed with that particular institution, very, very disappointed. Just April 14, we saw another police brutality. Broadville, we saw police shot and kill. King George, the same thing. Right at the rehab, they said they were chasing drugs addicts. They shot and killed a minor. So how can you? So you don't bring your image that way. If you have come to the realization now that actually things are not okay, you can start from the country. You can start making some adjustment. When you made adjustment, better it is for you. Because this police shouldn't have, it's not supposed to be Boakai police. It's supposed to be for the Liberian people. So if you do the right thing, we will flag it up there. Your image will go up there. So start a riot. It's not because you keep on receiving or so-called peace and war with your president that you can't now, you want to do your own now to clean your image order. So it was very, very intentional, but because they receive all the bad lies, that is why they withdraw it and claiming that they will put all the necessary mechanisms. What kind of mechanism you going to put into place? Or the very person that posted it, the very person that withdraw it saying, system will be put in place. Okay, but look, you see Daniel Kano will usually call their knee to tell them that they are not working. And they are doing more harm to the government. There are a lot of stuff are taking place today in the government, whether good or bad. You should have been reflecting it on that platform. But if you think he would take person, we are there to make him the issue for the day, then up to them. But the fact remains that Boakai self, his son could not take in America, his party could not, the chairman could not. It took a George Weah and our policy to fly into America, took care of him in the hospital. While returning to the country, he remained at the airport and endorsed June 7 protest against us. Is that not ingrate? You say, what happened to the Weah? Because he's an ingrate. When you are ungrateful to me because of my effort I made in your life, I will always tell people what I did in your life. So we'll continue to push it. Right, that Boakai was sick. It was because of us going fight that brought him back to life. Thank you.
Have a nice day. 0772-2399-33. The women, you can call on the same number because your phone just developed problem. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Peter David Castle. I call from under the street light in Lower Johnsonville, a concerned Liberian and for justice. Mr. Sam Andrew, you see, the government that is headed by Joseph Imam Boakai, and these guys continue to live in the ideas of antiquity. They feel that information are not fluctuating. Look at the information that were fluctuating. You know, and that's why we defeated their argument on one of their and a government pro argument, government pro registration this morning. We ask them, why is the source of that particular information for Liberia to be ranked in the midst of police brutality and gross incompetence that have been instituted by Gogre Command? So we were raising the same question to them, but they could not even respond to us. Where their whole attention was just based on taking call. They knew, and thankfully, the reality has set in. I think tomorrow in the morning, they will come back to make that particular correction. And you see, in the democratic society, Daniel Sano needs to really keep himself to be quiet. He really is somebody that went to good school, because he has just marketed and disgraced the government, not only locally but internationally. They took the whole information ministry took and more than 1 hour to write, and a misplaced modifier that people cannot even understand. And we are just took a second to respond to them. That's very much logical and very much disturbing for them. See, when you come to governance with anger, those are the results. We will continue to defeat these guys.
All right,
when
Chief.
it comes to ideas, knowledge, and education. No government official in Joseph Imabwaka government is educated and equal to Joseph President We are. 5% of We are brings is more than the entire government. And lastly, Daniel Sano should also understand that Liberia is a constitutionally democratic. That means Liberia is not governed by men. Liberia is governed by law. So that their draconian idea that they bring it, Samia to it, my begin. You get a small brain. You think you will go and arrest Samia to it illegally and live in better life? Will make
All right,
life
sir. Thank you.
unbearable for you and your entire government. Thank you very much.
Shakuyate Boakai, ambassador at large. The man has acknowledged that Joe Boakai is unreconciliatory. The man acknowledged that President Boakai is vindictive. His own mail, his ambassador at large, Shakuyate. The man said Boakai has not been able to reconcile the country. He talked about the division Boakai created with former President Weah. And he said that Boakai needs to go to President Weah. I see them relieving him of that position, ambassador at large. But that's the truth. President Boakai has this bad character. The man keeps grudge. Yesterday, they were saying, President Weah keep grudge. And President Weah listen to gossip. That's what they were saying in the opposition life. Yeah, they are. The man calls us speech from people. Boakai doesn't speak to people. And that's why the guys around him, they are using him to get at people, because they know his weakness. He's vindictive. He keeps grudge. His own man, Shakuyate, said, my man, lead a thing. You can live with bitterness. You can live with grudge in your heart. Go to President Weah and say, my man, look, we are men. Let's put this thing behind us and move forward. His own man, Shakuyate. The man said, Boakai's biggest problem is reconciliation. That he hasn't been able to reconcile the country because he's unreconciliatory within himself. Before you can pursue reconciliation, you should reconcile with yourself. Terrible. Too bad. They will relieve Sheikh Kuyate. It shouldn't be a surprise when you hear that President Bouaka has relieved Sheikh Kuyate of his position as ambassador at large. And Sheikh Kuyate, as far as I have known him over the time, he is financially grounded. So I don't think he's in Bouaka government for money. Probably the political recognition to protect his businesses, but he is financially grounded, well-to-do businessman. So if Bouaka dismisses him, he wouldn't regret it. I want to believe that's the reason he's looking in Bouaka's face and tell him, Mr. President, you have to reconcile. You have to pursue reconciliation. You cannot be the president talking about reconciliation on the other side, yet there is a vacuum. There is discrimination. You're holding grudge against your predecessor. You're holding malice against people within. You can. Look what they did to Amara Kone. Their occultic principle is when you are in their camp, have nothing to do with George Weah and his people. Don't go around anybody called sedition. Don't go around George Weah. Don't go around his officials. That is Unity Party policy. If they saw you around, have you seen how the country is? I beg you people, I want you people to observe that really. A Unity Party person, a Unity Party official, whenever he is in the midst of people and he realizes that people in that gathering, former officials of CDC, he finds a way not to get there, or that he will just pass on. Even though they are human beings, they are friends, but they have this fear that if you identify, or a Unity Party person sees you identifying with former government officials of CDC, they will conclude that you're giving out information to those CDC officials that you are going to be penalized. They will take your name to their camp. I know this for a fact because we've seen it. They feel uncomfortable. They are friends. But the fact that they are within Unity Party, they feel they should not get around CDC officials. And those CDC officials themselves know that very well. That is why they do not take it as anything embarrassing to them or serious, because they know their friends have to maintain their job in government to sustain themselves. Who created such atmosphere? President Bouaka. CDC officials are not discriminating. They get around those guys, but those guys feel uncomfortable that if a Unity Party person sees him or her with seditions or officials of CDC, that person will carry the information in their camp. And that person might be penalized. That's the atmosphere created. When CDC was in power, you had Unity Party people, CDC people, everybody coming together, amusing themselves, getting along well. What people used to say, oh, so the people we're fighting for, the people we're killing ourselves for, we're going against our friends there. So when they finish making the palaver, they acting like they are against each other, then they can go to entertainment centers, they're enjoying themselves. That's how it was. Seditions had nothing against Unity Party people. With all that they were doing, they were still getting along. With all that they were saying against the government, doing against the CDC government, CDC officials were incorporating them. They were getting along. Most of the Unity Party people in opposition, they were broke. They ran out of money. CDC officials were helping them. CDC officials were paying their rent. I know that for a fact. Nobody. I leave this earth, I come back, I will say, and the day God get ready, God will say, St. Andrews, call their names. And they will not deny it because we know. We saw it, we heard it. CDC officials, most of Unity Party, some of them are talking today. We hearing them talking, they're saying all kinds of stuff. They went broke. It was not easy in this time. CDC officials never had time because they understood that people have to live. They saw them as human beings. They did not see them as partisans to avoid them. They saw them as human beings. And they supported them. They will receive 200 US, 300, 500 US, 700 US. Even their wives. Their wives. It wasn't easy on the men then that the woman, prosperity will follow her. So when we see some of the Unity Party wives saying all manner of things against CDC people, we just laugh. They were struggling. They didn't have it. Not all. I'm talking about the ones that I know. How CDC officials did not discriminate as Unity Party officials are discriminating today. They could get along well. So much so that the government was a government of inclusion. Didn't Israel tell you people this morning? Your seditions were blasting Weah and say that their government, he taking people from outside, giving them BB position in the government. He saw it as the country that people must use the education acquire to help their country. People were brought on board. They were brought on board because we saw them as capable Liberians, not partisans, because they weren't partisans. Today, no. They see it different. They see it on partisan line. When you partisan, you should not. Not at all. You should not identify with seditions. We will incorporate them, bring them in. Seditions will get along with them and say, let's move, let's do this. Oh, I can understand that you have this problem, you have rental problem, you have medical bills, you have this, you have that. Seditions will chip in. Today, they're acting like they had been in government for rack of ages and they did not need anyone's support. We have brought them in, one of them.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah.
Definitely. Definitely. All of them. All of them. Just as Weah incorporated them, brought them in based on their expertise. he saw the other people as significant. They benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Today, another man, they go against seditions, beating them, saying all kinds of things. Listen, let me tell you. Listen first.
And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them.
And that's the same thing. Why AB said it? And that's the same thing we are saying. AB said it before we are explaining that thing. Journalists in this country. Bah, I see you, man, because I want to tell the thing. See, come on. Whether you like it or not, that's how George Weah was born. Weah is a good man. Everybody came to earth differently. The good people, they always suffer. Good people always receive ingratitude in return. President Weah was not president. He assisted several journalists in this country. Journalists in this country, reporters, sleeping on the floor. Weah took them from the floor to mattress to house. Several journalists in this country, many. When he wasn't president, though, they saw him as God. But he did not see himself as God. He saw himself as one that God has placed on the earth to help as God bless him. Because that is the essence of blessing. That is what blessing for. When God takes you to another level, it becomes your responsibility to take another person to another level. And that person will take another person to another level. Just like that. Blessing is not for oneself. That's why he said on Sunday, because God has been good to me. He helped people. Several journalists in this time. They're in the country today. When he became president, he still turned to those journalists. He saw them as human beings. He saw them as Liberians. He saw them as people that needed life. That the same life he has, they must have it. Those people enjoy life. From George Weah. God first, George Weah second. God uses human being on earth. God does not come to the earth physically and say, I gave you this, I'm going back to heaven. He passes through people. Today, the journalists are the ones who are saying he messed the country up. He was not this, he was not that, he was not that, because he's out of the presidency and Joseph Yuma Boaka is there and they want to continue their living. So we can understand. So when he said that yesterday, he was right, or Sunday rather. And that brings me to our closing. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029 vis-a-vis his goodness, taking him back. He helped many journalists and still helping them today. He's not in the presidency again. He's still helping them. He sent people to school. There is nothing wrong. He could have said, just as politicians in this country, what the politicians? They kept their money. They saw people suffering. People went to them for assistance. And they told the people, tell that man, yeah, Those people aren't get money. Let them go and find something to do. George Weah didn't turn people away. He didn't say, let them go and find something to do. Whatever the means he had within his reach, he will reach out because he saw them as human beings. Who does not know the story? Success story. Success story. You know the actual meaning of success story? When God blesses you, you bless another person. That's what success is. It is not a success when God blesses you and then you keep everything unto yourself. That is why he referred to the guy in Luke as the rich fool. Because he felt that every blessing must be unto himself. He said, I will take everything unto myself. I will sleep over it. I will do this. I will do that. Everything was about himself. God looked at him and say, you are a big fool. This night, you will not see the next morning. Whenever God takes you to a level, it is not about you any longer, but you become the medium to affect another person's life. So when President Weah said on Sunday, my success story, that's it right there. And that's what he was explaining, how he affected people's lives positively. Who in this country matches George Weah? Not that they could not do, but they refused to do. Not that they did not have the ability to do, but they refused to do. Not that they did not have the time to do, but they refused to do and they died with it. A legacy is not only by leadership, it's not only the political position. Ultimately, legacy is the impact you make on people. George Weah affected people, thousands of people, even foreigners, people who are not Liberians. His goodness is unmatched. He affected journalists in this country when he said it's not the news. They know. Those are the same journalists who are writing negative things about him. Journalists who were praising him, who said God couldn't have brought him to the presidency any better time than the time he came. Didn't he send people to school? University, high school, polytechnic? Didn't he? Don't even talk about the football aspect. He's off the presidency and he's still reaching out to people. Who does that? Give me a person in this country with such record. Give me a person, a name. The war. Who in this country? War is raging in Liberia and it's risking other people's life to say pass through Africa. Do they carry money to Liberia? The people are fighting. People are dying. They need this, they need that. The politicians had no time. George Weah was staying away, risks other people's life to bring things to Liberia to send money. Who Who can do that? What kind of human being? All of the human beings, all of the political, all of the morning politicians, the humanitarians that were in this country, they were concerned about themselves. All of them left the people to suffer. They were in different countries. They were doing nothing. Who was concentrating on Liberia? George Weah. George Weah, as he returns to the presidency of this country, whether we like it or not, George Weah is the blessing. George Weah, a blessing for this country. This country is blessed to have George Weah. I don't think after George Weah, this country will ever have a George Weah like the George Weah now. What's wrong with telling people what you have done? It's not a sin. It's not a violation. It's not a crime. I have said what I've done for people. It's because I did it. What's wrong in there? What's wrong with it? People don't like talking about it, but it doesn't say people can talk about it. It doesn't say you can talk about it when you've done something for somebody. You can. You can talk about it. You got to make people to know. When you do something for somebody, you can talk about it. So the next person will come to you and you are ready to help. Here is it. Everything a Liberian does for somebody, it is on social media. So if they said that it was unethical on the part of President Weah, or it was unethical for President Weah to say what he has done for people, granted, then nobody should be putting on social media what they're doing for people. A couple of days ago, we saw the NPA managing director boasting how he has given several scholarships. Should he have said that? So let's agree now. You say, don't talk about it. It is unethical. Granted. Why would you announce that you have given XYZ scholarship to students? Who are you? Who was he promoting? Himself. Was it right? No. Was it the right thing to do? It wasn't. By your definition of ethicism, in my opinion, it was right because that's goodwill. Everybody saying what they have done for people, there's nothing wrong with it. It just means that other people can look up to you and say, oh, if this man can do this for this person, I can reach out to him. George Weah helped people. The other people heard it, they went to him. And he said, okay, with the meager resources I have, let's share. You save lives. And all of us know how many times and how many people went to Jesus too for help, not only miracles. In fact, when you say somebody is a miracle, when you give somebody a scholarship, it is a miracle. When you pay somebody tuition, it is a miracle. When you give somebody a bag of rice, it is a miracle. When you just do something for somebody, it is a miracle because you have taken that person's life to another level. You see people on social media, they say, oh, yeah, $100 for you. Yeah, $200 for you. So why are they on social media telling people that they gave 100 US, 200 US? Why are they? Then nobody should be saying that they've done this for people or they come to showcase. So let everybody do things in secret. And how can you do everything in secret? That would be too dull and stupid of you to do everything in secret, because God in heaven himself never did everything in secret. One of the reasons when we do things for people, we say it's so that others who need help will come. People tend to be, or they proud, or they present themselves to be too ethical. Yet they show the irony of their very ethical principles. Everybody showcasing what they're doing for people. You get on social media, you work in a community, you go to offices, you've seen it. Everybody telling what they're doing for people. The woman come on and say, I'm blaming you, I did this for you. Must she say that? Is she ethical? George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. Unity Party is scared. They are afraid. The force against Unity Party is going to be too strong. Too many things are happening positively for the opposition behind the scene. And if anybody would think that Weah is just sitting down, well, you should be living in the world of utopia. Too many discussions, or many discussions, are ongoing. You're going to see a very strong, formidable opposition. The government is cracking over the time, over the weeks, months. You're going to see defection, meaning you're going to see people leaving Unity Party, coming into the opposition. It will beat your imagination, but that's the reality. That's the truth I'm telling you. You don't overlook it. President Bouaka will not win 2029. I doubt that he will even contest 2029. They're fighting at all costs to prop him up, keep propping him up. I doubt he will contest 2029. And they know that that's why they're doing a number of things. They know they can face George Weah. They feel the only person that can is the parable in chief. But the parable in chief don't want to contest 2029. There's going to be a crack. It has started happening. You will see, you will hear, you will read, you will talk about people leaving Unity Party. When I say people, I mean influential people. You think the return of Weah to the presidency, you think we're just talking imagination? You think we're just talking because we sitting on radio station? We're talking the reality. We're talking the truth, what is unfolding. Unity Party people know. A person in Liberia, when you go about just, then they say you're walking. When you aren't talking, they say, oh, you don't do anything. It's not who talk loud that is working. It's that person who reasons the future. And that's what George Weah is. He reasons the future. Chatter a cause and get ready to pursue it. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. As we close the show, let me break away from the expression, part of the expression. I've been thinking about it over the weeks, there's this expression that came out when the president conceded graciously with a recalibration for a possible return. There's every possibility for that. That's what I'm telling you. They came out with this phrase, turning setback into comeback. And I've been thinking, I avoided over the time using that expression. If you've been following my presentations, you have heard me say turning setback into comeback. And here is the reason. Using the expression turning setback into comeback is an admittance that we have failed. And President Weah didn't fail. Setback means failure. Setback is a failure. Turning setback into a comeback is an admittance of failure. Weah didn't fail. Weah didn't have setback. Weah did deliver. Weah had unprecedented developmental record in this country. Weah did prosper the country. There is no setback in President George Weah's account of the presidency. A setback is to say you did not. No. His handprints, his footprints, and everything all over the place, infrastructurally. Admittance of the people in the country, admittance of the people out of the country. Except for the evil ones in Unity Party who see, they know, but would not want to admit that this man did the unprecedented. So it's not a setback. That is why the campaign, Weah Returns to the Presidency 2029, is not based on anything of a setback, but everything of accomplishments and building on those accomplishments. Weah did not have setback. So there is no turning he has to do. There is no turning he has to do because there wasn't any setback over his 4 years. Technically, we have 4 years because COVID-19 hit almost half of the 6 years. He didn't have setback, but prosperity, advancement, accomplishments. Therefore, headed into 2029, we are building on the accomplishments and talking about future accomplishments. There's every possibility. No one can doubt it. His resume developmentally is unquestionable. And so when we are ready, the message will not be, what did George Weah do? No one will be asking to know what George Weah did. Everyone will have known, as they know now, that George Weah did the unprecedented. The question they will be asking, I suspect, and they will be right, how is George Weah going to build on his success? And there now, we'll be telling the people, this you're going to see, this you're going to see, watch out for this, watch out for that, and you will see that. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. Thank you ever so much for being with us for today. Ria Talkings 88.5, broadcasting from Baptist Seminary, ABC Community, Tuesday, this 5th day of May 2026. Join us this evening. The doctor himself is in, the teacher of the land, the light of the nation, the evangelist, Anthony at Law, A.B. William, with Face the Issues. If God permits, we're back tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is going to be another day, another great day, good day. Good day. So we go home.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family